And we're live! Hello, everyone. Or, well, welcome to another Rag-NERD-rok actual play. Tonight is another one of our Patreon backer games, and we are once again playing Delta Green, the investigative horror game of, looking way too hard at Cthulhu mythos and seeing what's there. The answer is nothing good. So tonight we have 3 players. One of them's running a little bit late, so we're going to get started with the 2 that we have, which, quite frankly, are the 2 best. So, Chad, do you want to start with just introducing your character?
I am Chad, or Chados on the message board, whatever, comment section. I am reprising my role as Kai Van Kirk, the intrepid blogger, videographer, photographer, that kind of thing.
Guy who takes pictures of things that should never have pictures taken of them.
Yeah, and one of my jobs that I do is disinformation. I'll post stuff that isn't, doesn't have anything to do with Delta Green.
It was just swamp gas.
As disinformation.
It's always swamp gas.
Mm-hmm.
So before we introduce Meyer's character, I'm going to say it's been about a month since your last adventure. So what has Kai been up to? You have not been activated again by Delta Green. So what has your personal life been like since that time when you watched your fellow agent get eviscerated?
Yeah, my fellow agent. Yeah, you got kind of torn up. Been having a few nightmares. Nothing serious, but I think on my off time I'm going to work on maybe getting better with weapons.
Okay. So do you want to do a little weapons training?
I would like to.
Okay. I forgot how that works. Personal pursuits. There we go. Nope, you're not establishing new bond. No, that's better. You could try to stat or skill. This reduces 1 bond by 1 as you let other responsibilities lapse. What bond are you going to reduce? Who are you pushing to the side to go to the firing range?
I am going to maybe project a little bit onto my father, Nori.
Okay.
Maybe ignore some of his calls and kind of stress our relationship a bit.
So Nori gets a little upset because you're not calling him as much as he would like. So reduce your bond with him by 1, and then make a firearms check.
All right.
Want to fail.
I got a 53 out of 20, so I fail.
Okay, so you increase your shooting, your firearms by 1d10.
All right. That's a 3.
Oh.
Better than...
Not great, but
nothing.
Better than 0. Yeah, okay. So that's what you've been doing. Spending a lot of time at the firing range. And why don't you introduce us to your new character, since your previous character was the one who met that unfortunate end.
Man, my
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I cut out for a little bit, so I did not hear anything Meyer said, but that's fine.
Neither did I.
Oh, okay. So maybe it was both of us then. Meyer, are you there?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, our internet just hiccuped a little bit, so can you repeat everything you just said?
All right.
Because no one heard any of it,
Okay.
including me.
Yeah. My guy is named Malcolm Emerson. He is in his late 20s, and he is a computer scientist.
Okay. Uh, I'm typing in our chat. So you guys, wherever it is that you're based from, you each receive a letter via courier that you have to sign for, indicating that you have been invited to a night at the opera in Boston. The Boston Philharmonic is playing, and you have received complimentary tickets, which you know are not actually tickets to the opera. You have work to do. So you pack up your things, you grab your go bags, you make whatever excuses you have to make to your friends and family, and you get on a plane to Boston, which conveniently there's also tickets in these things, in these envelopes that you received.
Good thing.
Yeah, it's almost like they expected you to come over.
Wait, what's the play we're going to see?
It's the Boston Philharmonic.
Uh-huh.
It's not a play. It's just it's a night of music.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. They're playing. It's a selection of Mozart pieces.
That hack.
But unfortunately, you do not actually get to go to that concert. You have to go to work. So you get on your plane. Well, where do you guys live?
I can't remember if I established this last game or not.
Don't remember either. It's fine if you don't.
I would say Pasadena, California.
Oh, all right.
It's a bit of a flight then.
Yeah, Malcolm, where are you from?
I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh. All right, so you're closer.
Yeah.
So you don't have nearly as long of a travel time as Kai does, but you both arrive relatively around the same time. You are given, accommodations at a hotel. Nothing fancy, just like a Best Western, nice enough, but and you are given a time that you are to meet at the Federal Building in Boston the next day, which I assume that you do, unless there's anything you would like to do in Boston the night before you have your appointment with Delta Green.
I don't know if I want to go look for guns now or later. I'm a little jumpy after the last one.
Well, you're not a federal agent, so you would not have been able to take it with you. You could try to go find them if you want. You could try to do a little shopping.
Maybe I'll wait till after the meeting.
Okay, yeah, see what they have to say. There's a good chance they might be able to supply you with something too. Meyer, anything that you want to do?
Could I? Because can I go to Cambridge, which is maybe 17 miles away from Boston, and visit some of my old college buddies at MIT?
You absolutely can.
That's what I'll do then.
You're an MIT man?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So how old is your character?
He's in his late 20s, 29.
Okay. So maybe we'll say that you call some of your friends who still live in Boston.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be at the school anymore.
Yeah.
But you guys meet up at a bar. Yeah, I'm in town for the show. And so you meet up with some friends and have a few drinks. Can't stay out too late though, because they are expecting you at 8:30.
Yeah, no problem. Just want to hang out.
Yeah,
have a social life.
Do it while you can.
Yep.
All right. So you have your social life, and Kai, you consider buying a gun, but then chicken out. So the next morning rolls around, and you catch a cab, you take the bus or whatever, and you guys find yourself at the Federal Building in Boston. Out of character, I'm not playing character, but out of game, I don't know if there's an actual Federal Building in Boston. I assume there is because it's Boston and it's a pretty big city. But if there isn't, then there is now. So You give your names to the security guards, and you are on a list of people who are allowed entry. They print you out a temporary security badge, and you notice that yours has a little green triangle in the bottom corner. And they tell you to go to floor 24, and what room you have to go to 2404. And so each of you arrive within a few minutes of each other. Already sitting in the room, Kai, you recognize Ryan's character from last time, whose name I don't remember. She is there, unless Ryan tells me that he's playing a new character, in which case she's not there. But I think he said he's going to be playing the same character. So for now, she's there. So you see a face that you recognize.
Okay.
And you also see some guy that you don't recognize.
Who's the guy?
You.
Oh, I recognize myself.
Yeah, you know.
I don't recognize the other people.
Yeah, so you're sitting at the table, Malcolm. You're sitting across from a middle-aged woman who looks a little haggard, and this other guy walks in, and he looks like he recognizes the woman. You have no idea who he is, and he does not know who you are. And you are the only three in the room right now.
I just nod at Ryan's character, or not, depending on if it's the same one.
She nods back, or doesn't, maybe. So you take a seat. There's so it's a standard conference room. Oh, Ryan just said that he's all set. All right, let me.
Sweet.
All right.
Oh man, we can now establish if we know him or not.
Yeah. This is a big question. Where is? Okay, let me get the link. Send to Ryan. So what should we tell Ryan happened when he gets here?
Will is eating everybody in the world.
Okay. All right, just roll with it. All right, I just sent him the invite.
He's like a human Pac-Man. He's just going around.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, hey! All right, so Meyer, you failed your sand check.
Okay.
You stare in horror as the jaws just open and like unhinge and fall like down to his stomach, and then slam shut on the body, and the person screams as Will just chomp.
Why is he eating everybody?
Within seconds, the body is gone.
The horror.
And he moves on to the next one.
Good grief.
It's the worst thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, pretty much. I will let him eat me.
I'm just going to run screaming.
You try, but you slip on the blood.
Oh.
Blood in the... Yeah, I'm just gonna let him eat me.
Yeah, well, you surrender to that.
Yeah, surrender to my
the
fate.
abyss.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Choke on me.
All right. That's not really what happened. You didn't miss anything, Ryan. They got a letter. They got invited to a night at the opera in Boston.
Okay.
You guys are in Boston. Are you playing the same character as last time?
Yeah. I found her sheet, so I'm good with that.
Okay. Well then, Kai, you recognize her.
I nod. Definitively.
Yes.
I return the nod.
So, you guys know each other?
Yes,
we've worked together before.
Yeah, we were on a job together.
Oh yeah, really? What happened there? What was the job about?
I just glance over and stay quiet. Maybe shake a little.
First assignment? First field work?
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of figured. Don't ask about that.
Okay, noted.
What's your character's name again, Ryan?
My character is Angelina Millay.
Angelina. That was it. Okay.
And what is Meyer's new character called, as Professor Tuttle is now defunct?
I am Malcolm Emerson.
He's a computer science guy.
Okay.
All right. So you guys, as I was just about to say before Ryan joined us, you're in a basic conference room. There's one wall of windows looking out over part of downtown Boston, and there's a long conference table with about 4 chairs on each side, and in the corner of the room there's a little end table with a pitcher of coffee and one of hot water for tea, because it is early in the morning. So you guys can grab a cup of coffee or something if you want. Yeah.
I'll definitely have a coffee.
Yeah. So you pour out some coffee in little styrofoam cups, and you sit down. And a few minutes later, a woman in a rather severe black suit walks in and sits down at the head of the table. She looks to be about around your age, Angelina.
Okay.
And she has a thin laptop tucked under her arm. She sets it down, opens it up, hits a few buttons, and a second later, a projector screen comes down from the wall behind her. Good morning. Thank you all for coming. I am Agent Thompson, and today's assignment should be, hopefully, rather straightforward. We need you to look into the disappearance of one of our friendlies. Oh, damn it, I closed my notes. I shouldn't have done that. That was a silly thing to do. I was closing all my tabs and closed the wrong one. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. I just completely took the listeners out of it. And the players. 1 second. Load. There we go. Okay. So, Hypatia Shaw is a professor of music at MIT. Hi, Angelina. We brought you in because you two have worked together in the field before and have proven to be an effective team. And we are joining you with Mr. Malcolm here because he is very knowledgeable about MIT and the campus itself, having graduated from there rather recently. Hypatia Shaw, as I said, is a professor of music. She hits a button on her laptop and a picture comes up on the screen behind her of a woman who looks to be maybe in her 60s, early 60s, late 50s. She's smiling and she's holding, it seems to be cropped. You could tell that there's people next to her and she's holding, you see like the top of a plaque in the frame. 3 years ago, Ms. Shaw helped us with a case out of Oklahoma that fell into her purview. She has assisted with a few other since then. Unfortunately, you are not cleared for Black Mozart, so I cannot discuss the specifics with you. However, she has proved to be a valuable asset, and 3 weeks ago, she disappeared. Since then, there have been a few other strange disappearances on the MIT campus. Hopefully, from our point of view, this is the work of some sort of serial killer, and we can leave it to the local police department to figure out. But since Shaw was a friendly, we can't rule out the possibility that it might be related to the organization. And so we need you to look into it and to make sure that it's not, or if it is, to deal with it.
Okay. If we're not cleared to look at any of the old case files, how are we supposed to draw those conclusions?
Well, you should be able to tell if there's anything otherworldly involved in her disappearance. Feel free to contact me if you think that something might be related to previous cases. I am cleared for those files, and I can check them for you. She reaches into a briefcase and pulls out 3 identical flip phones and gives one to each of you. As per usual, we have provided you with burner phones, and your numbers, as well as mine, are programmed into them.
Got it.
All right.
She also slides you a folder. This is the biographical information we have on Dr. Shaw, including her home address, information about herself and her wife, and her work on campus. Any questions?
Not
Do
that
we
I
have
can...
any details?
Well, as far as
Where
disappearance
she was seen?
goes, Professor Shaw was seen on campus 3 weeks ago. I'm just going to say it was a Monday. Let's call it October 1st, just so that's an easy date. She was seen on campus. She was at class. She lectured at class. She was seen in the dining hall around 5:30, 6 o'clock. Well, security cameras placed her in the dining hall at 5:45 p.m. She was there for approximately a half hour eating, and then she left to return to her office. From there, she went to the mathematics building, the Simons building, where she had been going very often. She was working on a project with another professor there. And that is where she is lost. She is never seen leaving the mathematics building. It's an older building, and they don't have security cameras on the interior. So once she went inside, that was it. She was never seen coming out.
Who is she working with?
That would be Dr. Karsten Radovan. He's a professor of mathematics. I don't know the details of their projects. It was nothing that was published, as far as we can tell. But Dr. Radovan is still on campus. You should be able to talk to him. Meyer, you recognize these names, having gone to MIT.
Okay, I was wondering that.
You may have had a few classes with Dr. Radovan. Shaw taught music, so maybe you had an elective, but you're a computer science major, so she was not one of your main professors.
Okay.
But Radovan, was a little more into theoretical mathematics.
Okay. Like, what kind of theoretical mathematics?
That you're not sure.
Oh, okay.
You know that he's well known on campus. He's pretty well respected, but you never really got into his work in depth.
Okay.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, there's a car downstairs that you can take to the campus. And as I said, my number is in there if you need to reach me.
Can we get any weapons?
Do you think that you're going to need them?
Well, you never know. Do you?
Make a persuade roll. Or what's your persuade at before you roll?
50.
50? What about bureaucracy?
Bureaucracy, only 10. The base.
10. Make a persuade roll. Yeah.
All right. I'll make a roll. Nope. 79 out of 50.
No, starting out, we don't think it's appropriate to assign civilians weapons. If you believe that there's a necessity for armament, then return, and we will see what we can do.
Got it. Roger. I'm sure there's no need for weapons.
I certainly hope there isn't.
So do we. Well, thank you, ma'am. We'll report back as soon as there's anything to report.
All right, very good. Good luck.
Thank you.
So you guys leave the room and head down to the basement. There is a car waiting for you. So Who's going to drive to MIT?
I'm sorry about earlier about bringing up the past mission. I didn't know. But I apologize. I mean, if you want, I mean, I've been at MIT. If I can drive, if you guys want.
Oh, if you're familiar with the place, sure.
Hey, go right, knock yourself out.
All right. So Malcolm gets behind the wheel and starts going. Do either of you two want to do any research along the way?
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to see what I can pull up about these other disappearances on campus.
Okay. How are you going to go about doing that? Like what?
Let's see. I can remember.
I mean, you could research if you just like want to Google, or search if you just want to like Google, or computer science would also be for that. If you wanted to like call the police and try to get reports from them, that would probably be bureaucracy.
I'll try search to see what I can find out initially, and then if we want to go any deeper, I will phone the locals.
All right. So what's your search at?
Search is at 50.
You don't have to roll. It's pretty basic stuff. So you basically just Google MIT disappearances. So the first article you pull up, it seems that the same night that Professor Shaw disappeared, there was a security guard named Shankar Sudhir who also disappeared. About a week later, there's another article. A janitor, Nathan Tumaselli, disappeared. And just a week ago, a student named Brooke Wolf has also gone missing.
Okay.
The press is starting to speculate that there's a serial killer prowling the MIT campus. And there's quotes from police about how they are stepping up patrols and enforcement, and encourage anyone to, if you see something, say something, call 911, doesn't matter, what it is. Campus police are training to respond more quickly. So, they're trying to step it up. That's just what's in, the local paper.
Okay.
Hey, maybe Agent Thompson was right, and it's just a serial killer.
Hey,
Fingers
you can
crossed.
hope.
Fingers crossed.
Delta Green, the only game where you hope it's a serial killer.
God, if only it was just a regular psychopath.
Yeah.
So this being my first mission, I'm gonna let you guys, take the lead on this one. I'll just follow you guys. So tell me what you want. Just tell me what you want me to do, and I'll help you out whenever, if I can.
How long ago did you graduate?
Over 5 years now.
Okay. Any of these names familiar?
I know the professor.
Professor Shaw or Dr. Radovan?
Dr. Radovan.
Radovan. Yeah, no. Shaw was an art teacher. I didn't take any art classes.
Mm.
But hey, I had a couple of classes with Radovan. Really smart guy. He was he's kind of known around for he has some theoretical type of stuff, but don't know really much about much more.
Wow. Theoretical mathematicians worry me. I'm going to immediately Google Dr. Karsten Radovan and see what I can find out about him and his work. What has he published?
Okay. So you Google him. You find his his professor profile on MIT's website. He's been at the school for about 20 years. He's an older man, Again, looks to be about the same age as Shaw-ish, late 50s, early 60s. From his picture, he looks like the stereotype of what you would think a mathematics professor would be. You could tell from he's scrawny. He's wearing a bow tie in his picture, and you could see he's wearing a corduroy jacket. You can only imagine that it has elbow patches to go with it. There's a long list of papers he's published with titles. Do you have mathematics?
Do I have mathematics?
It would be under science.
Hell no.
Lots of words.
Okay.
Probably English. You don't know what I mean. There's a list of papers he's published, but you don't understand.
I can't get the gist of the topics from the titles. Okay. Yeah,
it seems like a lot of something like volumizing, multi-dimensional, polyphasic surfaces, and all sorts of really weird theoretical stuff that doesn't seem to have any real use in anything.
Well, the word multi-dimensional certainly piques my interests. I'm gonna play the Hummint angle and see, like, I'll go to like rate my professor. Is he like an insufferable math genius, like Fields medalist, and only teaches because he's required to, or is he more of an approachable?
What's your Hummint at?
60.
60. Okay. So from the reviews, you kind of get a mixed bag. He doesn't teach low-level classes. Like, he's not teaching Math 101.
Okay.
All of his classes are like junior and senior level for people who are majoring in mathematics or a derivative thereof. It seems like based on the reviews that you get, it seems like he's a little intense. Reviews are, some people say he's too strict. Some people say, if you're serious about it, then he's really great and he'll work with you and help you. I mean, it seems kind of average in that regard. Some of the students say that he tends to space out sometimes, and especially when he's working on a project of his own, the classes fall by the wayside.
Okay.
So sometimes class will be, open your textbook and, read these 20 pages. And other times there'll be really insightful and inspiring lectures. It kind of depends on personally at the time.
Gotcha.
So the sense you get is that he tends to fall hard into his work, but onto his personal research, but he does care about the teaching, but not all the time.
Right. Sometimes the TAs teach his classes.
Yeah. So about that time, Boston's not a big city, so it only takes you about a half hour, even with the traffic, to get to the school. And so Malcolm, not William, sorry, you know exactly where to go. So where are you guys heading first on campus? So, Dr. Shaw still has an office on campus. You can go talk to her. You can go talk to her partner, or not her partner, Dr. Radovan. You could try talking to the campus police, or something else.
How do you want to play this, Angelina? You're the agent type.
Right. I suppose we should probably touch base with campus police first, just so that we don't ruffle any feathers poking into things.
And then maybe her office if we can get access.
Well, campus police can certainly help you with that too. So Malcolm, you pull into the closest lot next to the University Police Department, and you have a very nice walk across the campus. It's late October, so it's a little chilly, but it's still not unbearable out. And you go to the University Police Department. There's a sergeant sitting behind the desk. Can I help you?
Can we retcon a bit and say that I requested specifically an alias for this assignment? Because I remember last time being really trepidatious about flashing my badge and using my real name, and now that I've seen what Delta Green really does, I kind of don't want to do that.
Okay. Alias as an FBI agent?
Yeah.
What's your bureaucracy at?
40%.
Okay. Yeah, so they provided you with a different FBI badge. It might not stand up to intense scrutiny, but you can also tell them that Agent Thompson is your supervisor and she will corroborate your story, whatever it is.
Right. All right. So my alias is going to be Special Agent Lisa. Lisa DeJordy.
DeJordy. Okay. Okay.
Right,
so Sergeant's there. Can I help you?
I flashed the badge. Hi, my name's Special Agent Lisa DeJordy. I'm with the FBI. My associates and I are here to look into the disappearances on campus.
I'm surprised it took this long for you guys to get involved. All right. Wait here one sec. Let me go get the boss. The steps away, and a minute later, a man in a suit comes out. Hi, I'm Detective Smith. I'm heading the disappearance investigation. Your
Special
feds.
Agent DeJordy. Yes.
All right, yeah, come back this way. He leads you back behind the desk into a room. There's a board set up. It has the pictures of the 4 people who disappeared pinned to it. They've got security camera printouts on it. Nothing you don't really already know. Yeah. So what can I do to help, or what can you do to help?
Well, we're basically just here to provide a fresh set of eyes, maybe make some of the Bureau's profiling services available to you. I'm afraid I wasn't able to read the brief as yet. I don't really know much beyond what was in the local papers. Anything you folks left out of the news?
Oh, yeah. Well, as you know, for I don't want to call them victims, but for lack of a better word, victims disappeared this month in the campus. 2 of them, Professor Shaw and the janitor suit here, were last seen. I'm sorry, not the janitor. The security guard were last seen in the mathematics building. The janitor, Tumaselli, he was at a building next door to the math building. The student, Wolf, she was a little ways away. It seems like at first we thought they were using the math building. Maybe they're starting to spread out as they get more confident. Most of what the papers had is correct, disappearances. No one saw them go in or out. The one thing we left out, though, is that some of the scenes we found blood. Not a lot. Maybe indicative of a blow to the head or a defensive wound. Not enough to indicate a murder, though. No one heard any gunshots or loud noises. There was, he rolls his eyes, there was one witness, but quote-unquote witness. Some stoner says he saw Brooke Wolf through his window get attacked by a monster.
Okay.
Yeah.
I glance over toward Kai.
Yeah. Well, when we first saw that there was a witness, we thought it could break the case, but yeah, hasn't been as helpful as we would have hoped.
What is this?
There's a map on the board of like where the 4 people were last seen.
Okay.
And what were you saying?
The witness. What was his name?
The witness. The detective pulls out his notebook and flips through pages. Washington Roberts. His dorm room overlooks a sidewalk where he claims he saw Wolf. We peg her going in that direction, so she could have gone that way. We did find some blood on the sidewalk near there. So we're assuming that could be where she was last seen, but it's hard for us to test it. We don't have any of her stuff on file. Oh, well, no, they would have. Yeah, we got DNA from hairs on her brush and tested it, and the blood was hers. But,
okay.
Like I said, not enough to indicate a killing. We're thinking, our working theory is that whoever this son of a bitch is grabbing the people from the campus and bringing them, well, somewhere. If we knew where they were bringing them, then you guys wouldn't be here.
And I'm assuming you checked security cameras for suspicious vehicles and...
Yeah, I mean, it's a college campus in the middle of Boston, so lots of cars coming and going. Nothing out of the... I mean, the few that seemed suspicious, we tracked down and cleared them.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of just like these people just up and vanished. So any help that you guys can give would be greatly appreciated.
Well, we were thinking we'd work through these in chronological order. Any way we could get access to Dr. Shaw's office?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I can bring you over there now if you want.
That would be lovely.
Yeah, sure. It's about a 10-minute walk across campus. All right. So, okay. So you want to go to Dr. Shaw's office?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. William, I keep saying William. I just want to say you're William Meyer. Malcolm, you know exactly where you're going. You know where the building that houses the music department is.
Yeah. I just don't want to.
So
I'm trying not to let on I was a student here, though.
Yeah, no, I got you. But like, he's leading you, but you know exactly where you're going. And in fact, you kind of know a shortcut, but you don't say that because then that would tip your hand.
Yeah.
So 10 minutes later, you're at the building. It's MIT, so they're all old stone buildings, beautiful. He leads you inside and up 2 flights of stairs to the 3rd floor, and walks to a door. And written on it is Professor Shaw, Hypatia Shaw. The detective fishes out some keys and picks one. Yeah, we got skeleton keys for all the buildings, and he fishes out one and puts it in and opens the lock and opens the door. It's a little dusty in here, but you could tell her office has been closed, or he even tells you. You have the detective with you. We obviously searched her office after she went missing, but we didn't find anything. we closed it up since. No one's been in for just about 3 weeks now. As you guys look around, you see the signs of an intelligent and cluttered mind. There's stacks of books, sheet music, and books of music everywhere. Any chairs? The only chair that isn't covered with books and paper is the one that's behind the desk. The desk is piled high. There's shelves around with music and books everywhere. The walls are decorated. You could see pictures of Dr. Shaw with musicians, maybe some students. They go back years. And there's big posters for performances that none of you have ever heard of. There's a single window on the far wall of the room that's casting long early morning shadows over everything. It's a smallish office. It's not huge. Are you guys searching?
Sure. I'm gonna I'm gonna keep a special eye out for anything related to Dr. Shaw's work with Dr. Radovan.
Okay. What's everyone's search at?
20.
Yeah, 20.
I'm at 50.
What was that, Ryan?
50.
50. Okay. So you start looking through her papers and everything, Ryan, and you don't see really anything about her work with Radovan. You get the sense that whatever they were doing, this isn't where they were doing it. What you two find, Kai and Malcolm, because it's really hard to miss, in the corner of her room, there's a small dome. It looks like a dome, maybe 2 feet high and 2 feet around, made of speakers that are all pointing inwards.
Oh. A speaker dome.
Yeah. So, like, whatever was inside the dome would be getting, the speakers are pointing at that.
Yeah. Concentrated sound.
Yeah. There's no indication of what it's for or what it does, but that you find that in her office.
Okay. I'll inspect that a little closer.
What would you like to use to inspect it?
I've got SIGINT at 21.
Yeah, you could try SIGINT. Make a roll with that.
All right. 03.
03. It doesn't. It's no like coding or anything. It just seems like it's designed to bombard what's ever inside this dome with sound.
Like high intensity sound.
The speakers aren't great. They seem to be like, these seem to be like off the shelf speakers. Like there's nothing. You can go to Radio Shack. Well, not anymore. There's no more Radio Shacks. You can go to Best Buy and get speakers like these. So probably not high intensity. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some sort of therapy thing. Like it would fit over your head. It doesn't, there's nothing inside that makes it look like it's meant to be worn. Like there's no stabilizing thing. But you have no idea. But it's not like this would be a weapon or anything. Like it's not. They're not good enough speakers for it to be some sort of like sonic cannon or anything like that.
Yeah, some like an experimental thing.
Yeah, it could be
something they would experiment with. Okay.
And you think you could get onto her work computer?
Oh yeah, I can try.
What's your computer science at?
It is at a where is it? 60.
60? All right, you don't even have to roll.
Okay.
Her password is not very secure. You get in. You hack her Gibson, You find there's a whole bunch of lesson plans. You find her, whatchamacallit, the outline of the classes.
The syllabus?
Yeah, thank you. Syllabus for her classes. Assume she's teaching 2 different classes this semester, so you find like a whole bunch of notes on that. You make a search roll, though.
Okay. Let's see.
Or, I'll let you do a computer science stuff, but you make a roll for it.
Okay. Let's see. Got a 43 out of 60.
Okay. Out of 60. Okay. So you start, you spend a few minutes going through the stuff. Like most of it is just school stuff. There seems to be like maybe notes from books she's reading that she's typed up. You go into her email and you find most of it is students emailing about projects and classes and things. A few departmental, the music department is small, but there's a few departmental things. You do find a few emails between her and Radovan. Mostly seems to be setting up times. So she'll email him, your office, 6 p.m., and he just like emails back, sure. You start going through, and about a year ago, she emailed him with a request. She says that she's basically the gist of the email that she sent to him is that she's working on an artistic project that she could really use his help on. Trying to actualize mathematics through music and vice versa. And while she knows a lot about music, she knows fuck all about math. And she knows that Radovan is the best, and in her words, the best mathematician on campus. And she says, I'd love to meet with you for for coffee and talk about this in person. I think it could be a really interesting project.
See where?
On campus. It's just like, meet at the whatever the coffee shop is on campus. So that's what you find with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Agent DeJordy,
Yep.
you might want to check this out. It seems the 2 victims, the professor was talking to the Dr. Radovan. Apparently, they were working on a project together about trying to visualize math or something like that. It's very weird.
With your mathematics, Malcolm, you know that you can't. You've never done it yourself, but there are ways to express math through music.
Yeah.
So like mathematical equations can sometimes be rendered into music. And musical notes can also be converted into mathematical equations. So the 2 do kind of go hand in hand.
Okay.
So it's not like a crazy thing, but you don't.
Yeah.
There's no details about what she wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's no really details of what they're doing. It's probably like something with music and math. But they definitely met a couple times.
Perhaps we should put Dr. Radovan on our list of people to talk to. Did Detective Smith stick around, or is he gone?
Do you want him to stick around, or do you want him to leave?
Probably prefer him to leave in case we found anything.
Yeah. I was going to say I wanted to ask him something, but you know what? Yeah, it's better that he goes.
Okay. So while you guys are looking
back
through
and
the
talk to
stuff, before you hacked into her computer, he has a radio, and it chirps, and he steps out into the hall, and you hear him talking. He comes back. So I have to go. You guys got this? Just turn the lock on the door when you leave.
Sure, we're okay.
He hands you his card. Yeah, if you need anything, just give me a call or come back over to the building.
Sure. Thanks so much.
I'll let all the officers know that you guys are here, so no one stops you.
Before you go, the second victim, Shankar Sudhir, was one of yours, or?
We have a dedicated campus police department that respond to calls. We are in charge of some of the security guards. He's not a police officer. They hang around in some of the buildings until, not always too late, maybe till about 11, midnight, depending on the building. And then they go home. Whereas the police, we're here 24/7. The security guards, if there's, they'll break up a fight, but if there's a big problem, they call us.
I see. And the who's in charge of the security and maintenance staff? We should probably talk to the supervisors, see what Mr. Sudhir and Mr. Tumiselli were scheduled to do that day.
The security guards are run through our office, so if you want to come back with me or come back later and take a look at his schedule, I can do that. The maintenance staff is run through the maintenance department. I can call the head over there, tell him that you'll be stopping by if you want.
Sure, that would be wonderful.
All right, he gives you the name and tells you where on campus they are.
Detective?
Yeah, not a problem. Anything we can do. All right, so you got my number. He runs off. So you're alone. So then you hack into her computer and you find that stuff out.
Well, if it was a serial killer, it doesn't seem to be any kind of preferred type.
Yeah, all the victims, other than being at the school,
right.
You can't find, and he even said
there's no
nothing
commonality.
That you can find. Yeah.
Yep.
And we have reports of a monster.
Well,
yeah.
He was high.
I wouldn't
though, if you really trust him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can talk to him. So you've got some avenues you can check out.
Okay. Hey Alex, I'm gonna take video evidence of everything with my camera.
Sure.
Most of the time I'm just so I can go back and check it out if we miss something obvious.
You start taping, getting footage of all the books on her shelf and the posters, like making a map of her office through with your camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to roll for that.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Anything else you want to do in her office, or do you want to move on?
I'm guessing that those speakers in that corner just had to deal with that project they were working on. Since they're all facing each other.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. It's like concentrated sound.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of documentation or notes nearby that would indicate exactly what that might be useful?
You can roll search. You can roll search.
All right.
You can all roll search for that too.
Okay. Nope.
I critically failed.
Oh, okay.
I got a 77.
Ryan?
34 out of 50.
Okay. Well, Meyer, you don't find anything. Ryan, you find some. You start going through. Like I said, there's just mounds of papers everywhere, and you're going through books on one of the chairs, and you see that there's some things stuffed in between some of the books, and you pull out a few sheets of paper that seem to be sketches of whatever that thing is, and you see it kind of changed over time. She started with like 4 speakers and then kept adding them until it just made like a dome like it is now. And there's a note on the side that it says, prototype, different. It says different tones ? And then it says effects center.
All right. So I'll turn some of the diagrams, take a picture of the apparatus.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
Yo, dog. I heard you like speakers. Put some speakers on your speaker.
So you could speaker while you speaker. Yeah, basically. She'd come to a ride, but with speakers. Okay, so where are you guys off to?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
You also have, I'll say in her file, you also have her home address, so you could go talk to
her wife.
Her wife, if you want.
I'm intrigued by this. I'm intrigued by this monster sighting, dude. Witness.
Yeah, we might as well get that over with.
Yeah. Plus, I want to get some guns.
Okay.
Especially after the monster reference.
Well, do you want to go get guns, or do you want to go talk to the guy?
He's on campus, right?
Yeah, he lives in one of the dorms.
Yeah, I guess we'll hit him next.
Okay. So the detective told you like what room and building he's in, and Malcolm, you know where that is. So you lead them over, and 5 minutes later, you're knocking on his door, and you hear a cough from inside, and just a minute. There's some shuffling, and then the sound of an air freshener can being sprayed a lot. And then you hear the door unlock and it opens. There's a unkempt teenager standing in front of you. He's got a patchy beard growing in and long hair. He's wearing a Metallica t-shirt that probably should have been washed a week ago. And you could smell the marijuana as well as his attempts to cover it up. Can I help you?
I enjoy myself. Pull out my FBI badge and show it to him.
His eye, before you say anything, his eyes go wide, and they are bloodshot, but they go wide.
Mr. Roberts, my name is FBI. We were referred to you by Detective Smith. We were hoping you could talk to you about what you saw the night that Brooke Wolf disappeared.
So this is about that?
Is there something else it should be about? I say, looking over his shoulder into his dorm room.
There's an ashtray. You see the remains of several blunts, which have not been emptied out. There's half of one in there that looks like he put it out, but he didn't want to like crush it because he didn't want to waste his weed, so it's still smoking a little bit. He goes, no, nothing. Do you want to talk in the hallway?
Sure. Why don't we get some air?
Yeah, okay. He very eagerly walks out and shuts the door behind him. Yeah. So, like, what do you want to know? I told the police, and they said I was just, fucking crazy, or whatever.
Yes, Detective Smith seemed very dismissive of your eyewitness testimony. So why don't you take us through it? What were you doing? What time was it? Where were you?
All right. So it was like this. So it was like 11:30, and I was listening to The Wall, and it just got to this really deep part. Like, it's just like it was hitting my soul, and I heard a scream, and I got up because it like it pierced the veil, and I got up and I looked out my window, and I saw that girl, because she had blonde hair, and I saw her being dragged into the bushes, and I was just like staring at it, and then a few minutes later, this like monster came out. Like, it just leapt out of the bushes. Like, it kind of looked like a person, but like it was running on two legs, but it had like its right arm was like really, really big. And like, so sometimes it would run like a gorilla, like, how like they run on their hands. So it would take a few steps and then like put its hand down and push and then keep going. And it just ran off and had like gray skin and lumps all over it. It was super fucking gross. And I tried to tell Detective Smith. I mean, I did tell him, but he didn't. He said I was just, high and that I was full of shit.
I see.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot from last time. Malcolm and Kai and Angelina, I just rolled a 6. So you each get, from last time, 6 points of unnatural.
Yay.
Boy.
Yeah, I forgot.
Now
Lucky
I have
us.
6 points.
Yeah, I know.
It was like Trogdar. That's what you're saying. One beefy arm.
It's like what?
Trogdar, Homestar Runner?
I don't know what that is, man.
Oh. You should look it up.
Days.
It's on the web.
Oh, is that like a meme?
No, it was like a Flash comic, web comic.
What's
Kind of a web
Flash?
cartoon. Dude. Never mind.
You feel very old, Kai.
At 25.
Oh, your guy's only 25?
Yeah.
Oh, still, you feel very old.
Trying to relate, but I'm feeling really old for
Yeah.
25.
It's not working. These young whippersnappers, they don't know anything anymore.
God, get off my lawn.
Yeah. Speaking of take things meta for a bit, our hit points and sanity points. What's going on?
Oh,
with
yeah,
those?
your hit points are back. Whatever
Okay.
you were at. Your sanity
Would be the same, right?
stays, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you
Okay.
take. Well, you weren't here, so did you take a between game action? So you could take a home action to. You could try to recover sanity. You can recover a bond, or you could try to like improve a skill.
How far down will you go?
I think I'm going to try to recover. Recover sanity points if I can.
Okay. So you can try the way you do that. So you either fulfill responsibilities, you focus on your day-to-day obligations and relationships, and you could get some. Oh no, that improves your bond. Sorry. So if you want to get sand back, you can go back to nature. So basically, like, you just go spend some extended time alone in the woods, basically, to get back to nature, or you can go to therapy.
What's the benefit of one over the other?
Well, going back to nature reduces a bond because you're ignoring your bonds to just go hang out in the woods.
Right.
Therapy. Let me read real quick.
Depends on what you tell your therapist.
Yeah. If your agent tells the truth, there are risks. If the sand loss came from confronting the unnatural, which it mainly did, the therapist attempts to treat your agent for schizophrenia. If the therapist believes your agent, he or she may lose sand from the agent's stories. If your agent describes unnatural events and the therapist thinks you're delusions, you get a -20 penalty. And you could lose sand if your therapist really sucks. If your agent shares tales of terrible, illegal violence and it sounds like further violence is imminent, the therapist may report it to authorities. If your agent doesn't tell the truth, the healing is limited. So if you go to the woods, you get back 1d4 sand. Go to therapy and tell the truth, you can get 1d6 sand. If you go to therapy and lie, you get 1d4. If you go to therapy and fail the roll, you lose sand.
All right. I think I'll go to therapy and lie.
Okay.
Just give him some metaphors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Metaphor for big, horrible snake serpent person.
It was like she tore him in half.
Metaphorically.
Metaphorically,
of course.
Okay, so you make a luck roll,
Okay.
which is just 50-50, high or low.
50-50.
Okay. I'm gonna say high,
Okay.
and I rolled a 93.
Okay, so roll 1d4.
Hang on a sec.
You want me to roll it? I have one right here.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
1. And you got some sand back from killing the thing at the end of the last game too.
I did.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm at 42 instead of 41.
Well, your therapist isn't great, and you don't really tell them about what's causing your problem. So they're speaking in generalities. Like they're trying to tell you how to get over this emotional feeling of your friend being ripped in half, when really you should be talking to someone about the trauma of literally seeing your friend get ripped in half. So it helps a little bit.
Yes, it was a very bad relationship.
It was a bad break up.
Yeah. Breakup. Divorce.
Yeah.
Everything's split in half.
When friends split, please don't say it that way.
Everything has to get divvied in half.
Mm-hmm. I have to go. I'm sorry, Doctor. All right.
Okay, so I'm sorry. You were heading to. Oh, you're talking to Roberts.
Yeah, we're talking to Washington Roberts.
So he just told you a story.
Okay. So the creature was about person-sized.
Yeah.
Came out of the bush. I'm taking.
I mean, I didn't see where it came from. Like I saw it leave the bush.
Okay. I'm like, you saw this from your dorm room, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I point. I guess we went like outside the building. I point up at his window. So which bush was it?
So he looks at the window and looks around. It was right over here, and he walks over to a bush. So you're basically on a walking path. It's just asphalt, 10 feet wide. That curves around the back of the building, and he points to a bush.
All right. And which way did the thing go when it lit out?
He points that way.
All right. So my suspicion, I go over to Malcolm and I say, the mathematics building over there?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's the mathematics building.
Okay. Well, Interesting. Do you think, Mr. Roberts, do you think you could draw what you saw for us? If we gave you...
I could try. I'm not like a great drawer, but I'll give it a shot.
All right. I have for the shits and giggles. I have pencils and blank paper in my briefcase that I've been carrying with me. Because why not?
Okay, I'm trying to see. So art base is 0. So he has a little bit more than that. All right, he's a 94 out of 5.
Nice.
So you get, so on compounding that is that he is high as fuck. So apparently the monster he saw was a potato with legs.
Mr. fucking Potato Head. I thought so.
You know, it was good. That guy was going to come back sooner or later. Yeah, it's useless to you. So it's like a potato with another potato attached, and then 2 toothpicks for legs. It's like like I said, I'm not great, but it was kind of like that.
Okay.
But like the legs were like legs, you know?
Like legs. Person legs?
Yeah, they're not. I mean, yeah, like they were. It looked like they were wearing pants, so I couldn't see their legs. But yeah.
All right, that's a detail. What was the monster wearing? You said what?
Pants?
Pants?
Yeah, it looked like pants, and I couldn't tell if it was wearing shoes. It didn't have. Oh wait, it had like what do you call it when fabric, like when a shirt gets all ripped to tatters?
Like shred marks?
No. Oh, tatters. Yeah, it just had like tatters of cloth hanging off the top.
Okay.
Tatters. All right.
Anybody have any other questions for our boy here?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
no,
right.
I can't think of anything.
All right.
He says, "All right, then I'm gonna go back to studying."
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get some studying done.
All right, cool. And he goes back inside. Probably freaking the fuck out right now.
Definitely. Well, that reinforces my want for guns.
Oh, I was issued a sidearm.
Yeah, you have your standard issue.
I mean, I don't think there's any reason for us to light up Cambridge just yet, but I can see what I can do about requesting you guys arms if you'd prefer.
Yeah, or I can, look at the gun shows nearby or something.
Yeah, I mean, like if you want to just get like a long arm, that's easier, but it's not really concealable.
Well, I want a shotgun that's non-traceable.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you'd have to go to a gun show for that. Well, Ryan, you could try to request them guns by calling up Thompson, or you guys can just go try to buy your own.
I'm going to try Thompson first.
What's your bureaucracy?
40.
Yeah, make a roll for that.
All right. Oh, no. 81 out of 40.
She politely informs you that while you are on the right path and it warrants further investigation, since the only person who has claimed to see a creature is a stoner who says he saw it from about 30 feet up in his window. She does not think that necessarily requires the licensing of firearms to civilians.
Maybe you shouldn't have sent her the picture of the sketch.
This is what we're fighting.
I say, well, thank you, ma'am. We'll do our best, and I hang up. Well, it looks like she didn't find the Potato Man convincing.
Damn.
So if you want, I would say it would be a luck check to see if there is a gun show in town. So
I've got criminology at 50.
Well,
maybe
gun
I can
shows
find some
aren't-
illicit.
I would say gun
illicit
shows aren't.
guns.
Criminology is like illegal. So I would say if you want to try to buy a gun at a gun show, that would be to see if there's one around. If you want to go and try to like buy an illegal gun off the street, that would be criminology. Or try to get a gun in such a way that it's they forget to file your paperwork for a few days.
Yeah, we'll try that as the last resort.
Yeah. So luck first, either high or low, just to see if there's one in town.
Who's rolling?
You.
I would say you go for it. My dice are cold right now.
I will go low. And I got high.
Okay, so you do your Google search. There are no gun shows within like 50 miles.
No gun show. So I guess we can.
So now, if you want to make a criminology check,
okay,
you can do that.
No, I critically failed.
Critically failed.
90.
You know a guy.
I know a guy.
Don't do it. He's a cop.
I'll bring you with just in case. There's this guy with a Chrysler, big old 78 Chrysler.
Yeah.
In the alley over here.
Yeah, exactly. You've only got one car. Are you all going with?
I want no part of this.
Malcolm?
No, thank you.
Okay. So, Kai, you could take the car and go try to meet this guy to purchase a gun.
Yep.
While Malcolm and Angelina stay on campus, I guess. So let's deal with Kai first.
All right.
So you find the meet. It takes you about an hour to get there. It's in like a real back part of Boston.
Sure.
There's an alley. And there's a guy with a Chrysler at the end of it.
All right. So I pull up and I get out and I've got like $200. I'm like, $200? Is that enough for a shotgun?
That depends. Let me see.
Right here.
All right. You hand him the money.
Mm-hmm.
And he points the gun at you. Points a gun at you and
that's
says,
not a shotgun.
"Now get in your car and drive away."
Oh, fuck. All right.
You're going to try to fight him? Or okay.
No.
So pick a bond and mark 1 off of it.
All right.
Because that was money that should have gone to something else.
All right. I will mark off my friend Mark, the electronic store manager.
Yeah.
He always told me I could get a gun anywhere. Just right off the street.
That was going to be your money for Mark's birthday party in 2 weeks, but looks like you're going to have to bail on that. Yeah. And Mark is not going to be happy.
Thanks, Mark.
Planned your birthday party. I know we said we were going to Atlantic City, but instead we're going to Buffalo Wild Wings.
And you are paying.
Yep.
All right, so while Kai's off having his adventure, what are the two of you doing, Malcolm and Angelina?
You want to go talk to the
You're
wife?
stuck on campus. You know?
That's right. Dr. Shaw's address, is it far from here, like walking distance, or we need a car for that?
I mean, you can probably take the bus or something too. I guess you're not really stuck on campus. It's a city. I'd say it's about a half-hour walk.
It's probably better off if we wait for Kai. I know I'd be suspicious of any FBI agent that got off the bus.
Yeah, that doesn't seem very official.
I don't know why I thought that was so funny, but yeah.
I forgot to requisition a car, so
I did requisition a Metro card, though. All right, so where do you go? So you checked out Shaw's office and the witness. You can go to the math building and talk to Radovan.
You said you took one of his classes, Malcolm. Why don't we go and see if he remembers you?
Okay.
All right, so you guys walk over to the mathematics building. I'll be nice and say that Professor Dr. Radovan is having office hours right now. So you find his office and the door is open. It is a much larger office than Shaw's. It's much better lit. As you knock, are you just like going in?
Yeah, unless he has like a secretary or something.
No, he doesn't. He's not that good. So as you knock on the door and walk in, you see there's a half dozen boards. There's chalkboards and dry erase boards all around the room, covered with a scrawl of complex mathematical equations. Is the same guy that you saw in the picture before. Thick glasses, bow tie, corduroy jacket, and yes, he has elbow patches. And he is sitting at his desk, working, writing on paper. As you knock on the door, and he looks up. Oh, can I help you?
Yes, Dr. Radovan. My name is Lisa DeJordi, Special Agent DeJordi. I'm with the FBI. I was hoping that you might be able to answer some questions about your work with Dr. Shaw.
Yes, come in. There are two seats opposite his desk.
This is my colleague. He's consulting with us, Malcolm Emerson.
He holds out his hand. Pleasure to meet you.
It was a pleasure.
So what can I do for the FBI?
Well, we're looking into Dr. Shaw's or Professor Shaw's disappearance. We understand that the two of you were working together on something the night that she went missing, and we were hoping that you might be able to fill in some of the details because you could be the last person to see her alive.
Yes, that's what the police said. Yes, so what would you like to know?
Well, first of all, what were you working on?
It was a fascinating topic, really, that Hypatia proposed to me. As I'm sure you know, you can express mathematics and music and mathematics, but it was really a topic I never really bothered considering before. But Hypatia was interested in trying to express physical objects through music. And so she enlisted my help to try to come up with a formula that would fully express an object in math, and then she would convert it into music. I was skeptical at first, but once we started working on it, it seemed quite interesting from an artistic perspective. And the challenge of trying to come up with the formula to fully express a physical object was something I'd never considered before, and quite a good mental exercise.
I see. What level of detail are we talking about here? You said fully represent an object. Are you talking about its dimensions and volume, or are you talking about more of its internal structure and the intricacies of its being?
Yes, both. I mean, obviously, the volume is an easy way to describe something, but it doesn't really tell you what an object is. Like, hold up, take this pencil. I mean, I could very easily, write a formula to express the shape of it, but what about the molecules inside of it, the wood, the shine of the paint, of the yellow paint, and how the core is different from the wood and how it's joined together. The eraser, it's a much more complex object than it seems at first glance. And trying to come up with a formula to represent that, and how many different atoms are inside of it, and what their arrangement is, it's quite fascinating. Meyer, what's your mathematics?
It is at 40.
40. Make a math roll.
Okay. Let's see. 40 on the dot.
40 on the dot. Okay. So you're listening to him, and you get what he's saying.
Yeah.
And you're looking at the boards around that he has around his room, and it's really complex stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like each one is part of something. Like, your eyes you're scrolling across and you're watching it. It was like when it gets to the end,
yeah,
it cuts off, like it doesn't finish. It takes you a few minutes of looking around, and you realize that these half dozen boards that he has in his room are one equation, but they're out of order. So you can't piece the whole thing together in your head. It's way too complex for that.
Mm-hmm.
But you could tell by looking at them, or maybe it's multiple equations, but they seem to be fragments of something.
Yeah. Professor.
Oh, yeah, yes, doctor.
What are you working on right now? But on your boards.
Oh, that was one of the objects that Hypatia and I were trying to express. It's a simple metal disc, not big, about the size of a quarter. Yes.
You're saying that's a mathematical equation for a circle disc?
Yes. He opens a drawer and pulls out. It's one of these. It's basically a blank. I don't know if you've ever done or seen electrical work, like when you're installing an outlet, but they have, like, you can punch out holes in the material. It's literally just a metal disc of one material about the size of a quarter. He hands it to you.
Okay.
It's just a piece of metal. We started with something like that. It's very baseline. It's one element. It's a uniform shape. It's a solid, so the molecules inside don't move. They're solid. It seemed to be a good place to start.
I see. What is this as far as your project got? I take the disc and I turn it over in my hands.
Make a humans roll, Ryan.
Okay.
Meyer, you can too. Or what's your humans at? Before I keep forgetting, you don't have to roll necessarily.
30.
I'm at 60.
Okay, Meyer, you roll.
No, I failed. 49 out of 30.
Yeah, you're looking more at the boards now instead of, you're not looking at him.
Yeah.
But Angelina, you look at him. He goes, "Oh, yeah. Well, we moved on to some slightly more advanced solids, but that was about as far as we had gotten." He's lying.
Okay. What was the ultimate goal of your project? Any specific object you wanted to describe in the mathematics of music, or?
Well, I think at the end, Hypatia said that she wanted to compose a piece about humanity. She wanted to find a song of a person, and that is what I think the ultimate goal was. But that is very, very complex, and we were nowhere near being able to figure that out.
Still lying?
He's not lying. They didn't do it. He believes that they were still a very long way from being able to do that.
Okay. He's not lying. They didn't figure out the song that would describe a person, but I'm guessing they figured out a song that would describe a potato person with pants and a beefy arm.
What's your search at, Ryan?
50.
50. Meyer?
20.
Yeah, make a roll, both of you, for search.
Hit that 45 out of 50.
Nope, 82.
Those are really interesting boards, Meyer. It's just you're like in your head, you're trying to arrange them in order.
Yeah.
But like you lose it after like one or two. It's just way too complex. Yeah. But Ryan, you look at him and you kind of look around the room a bit, and you see behind one of the boards in the corner of the room, speakers.
Is this where you were doing your work?
Oh, yeah. We were doing the majority of it here. Hypatia's office was much too small for two people to work comfortably together.
I guess she brought the equipment. I motioned over to the speaker.
Oh, yes, she. That was her design. Yes.
I'm gonna. You said it's behind one of the boards.
Yeah. So you see, you look. So the boards aren't like directly next to each other, like they're not touching.
Right.
They're spaced apart, and you see behind one of them in the corner, looks like a bunch of plastic, like those big plastic bins, and one of them on top is open, and you could see a speaker jutting out of it, a much larger speaker than what Shaw had in her office.
I'm gonna get up and walk over toward the bins.
He gets up. Oh no! Please don't touch that. It's very, very, very delicate equipment. Hypatia was the one who was most skilled at using it, and I wouldn't want to touch it and damage it.
Well, it is an investigation, Doctor. I promise you, I'll be as delicate as I can with it. There may be evidence.
I don't see how there could be.
I mean, you were meeting with her on a plan, so maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that night, Hypatia came to my office, and we worked until approximately 11 p.m., and then she left, and apparently that's when she went missing. I haven't seen her since. So he's lying, Ryan.
Yeah. Which exit did she use when she left the building?
Oh, I wasn't with her when she left the building. I stayed behind to finish up and clean up some of my notes. She just left my office.
Okay. The security cameras that out of character. We never actually looked through the video, so we don't know firsthand that she was not seen leaving the building.
No, the detective told you.
Okay, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
we-
basically,
we-
there's no cameras inside, so there's a camera
Yeah.
outside that saw her coming in but never leaving.
Did they have coverage of all of the entrances and exits, and she wasn't on any
Yes,
of them?
yeah, they would have. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Um,
actually,
the reason,
no, there's as far as well, you don't know.
yeah. The reason I asked, Doctor, is because I spoke with Detective Smith of the UPD. He said that um, they have no security footage of her leaving the building. Is I'm sure you don't know what the security camera coverage is like around here. But that seems. I was trying to determine which way she might have gone. If there's an out of the way, side door she might have taken.
I couldn't say. I didn't see her leave.
I'm gonna open up my smartphone, unlock my smartphone, and show him the picture of the speaker apparatus.
Okay.
I'll just watch his reaction. Was this related to your project in any way?
Oh yes, there was a prototype that Hypatia built.
Designed to bombard the center with sound waves.
I believe so. I don't. That was more her side of things. I'm very sorry, Agent, but I have a class to get to. Could we maybe finish this up later?
Doctor, I'm sorry, what was your alibi? Like, what were you doing when the victim was missing?
I was in my office, working.
And what time did you leave?
I left around 1 a.m. There's video evidence. I believe the detective said I was on the video. I'm sorry, are you implying that I had something to do with Hypatia's disappearance?
No, just a question.
Yes, well, that's I was here.
I look at Malcolm and I look back at the doctor and I say, we'll thank you for your time, Doctor. We'll follow up if there's anything else we need to ask.
Thank you, of course. So around this time, Kai is arriving back on campus. Sans gun. Sorry, Kai.
Oops.
And $200.
Yeah, well.
Looking a little sheepish. Yep. Nobody around here's got guns. Nobody.
Oh. Well, maybe if we can come up with some more evidence, maybe Thompson will be a little more generous. There's something in Dr. Radovan's office that he didn't want us looking at. Some equipment related to what he was working on with Professor Shaw. I don't know. I got the sense that he was lying. How about you, Malcolm?
I was confused. I was kind of in the moment, just reading the boards. It's very complex stuff, and I don't know. I just got lost with it. I'm sorry. I wasn't really paying attention.
Anything you could make sense of?
No, that was very complex. Way over my head. I mean, listen, when I took his class, I was lucky to pass it. The doc is fucking genius when you know.
It's like genius
He does
level
seem-
math, huh?
Yeah.
He does seem the type. All right, so we've got the first victim goes into the building with him, works there until 11 p.m. He says she left. There's no video evidence of her leaving the building. He stayed until 1 a.m. There's got to be a reason why the UPD didn't look into him.
You can ask him.
Yeah, I'd like to know. Well, let's walk over to see Smith again.
Okay. So you head back over to the PD building, and yeah, he's there. What can I do for you?
Quick question. We were just talking to Dr. Radovan. His alibi for the night seems kind of scanty. Is there a reason you didn't look too deeply at him?
We were looking at him initially, but when the third person disappeared, his alibi was airtight. Same for the fourth. He was nowhere near them.
All right.
And we did have him on video leaving around 1 a.m. So, I mean, I guess it's possible he could have done something with Professor Shaw, but the other two, I don't know.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Smith. We're gonna keep poking around. If we have any more questions, we will definitely send them your way. And if we have any insights to offer, we'll do the same.
Sure. Glad to have the help. So where are you guys headed now?
I think we can. Do we want to go see Professor Shaw's wife? Is there anything else we haven't done on campus?
No, I mean, you could pay an extracurricular visit to Dr. Radovan's office, but I think
what time is it?
That's true.
Yeah.
Let's say it's early afternoon.
Okay, so maybe that's a later tonight thing. We know that he, stays around late. I guess we'll just have to stay around later. Or he did say that he had a class. We could try to break in while he's.
It's up to you.
Probably a lot more witnesses during the day. So let's see if we can wait him out.
Okay, so you're gonna go talk to his wife then?
Yeah, we'll talk to Professor Shaw's wife.
Okay. So you have her address, and you get in the car. Like I said, there was about a half-hour walking, so about 15 minutes by car. You still have to deal with traffic and whatnot. You get there, you knock on the door, and you wait a minute, and then you hear doors unlocked. Ooh, excuse me. And a woman opens the door. She's wearing sweatpants. Her hair's up in a messy bun. She looks like she hasn't been sleeping well. Even though Shaw's home is a stately row house, it's a very, very nice house. The woman opens the door. Okay, can I help you?
Do we have a name for the
You do. Phoebe Albertson.
Okay.
Do any of you have history as a skill?
I only got base for 10. Is that the
40.
base?
Yeah, I got it
40.
at base.
I get it at 40.
So at 40, you recognize the name, Kai. Phoebe Albertson is a rather well-known maritime historian who has published quite a few books. She's like Doris Kearns Goodwin, but boats instead of presidents.
Phoebe. Oh, that Phoebe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's not like super famous, but she's well known.
Sure.
In maritime historian circles. Oof.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I mean, mainly just pop, like kind of pop history.
Yeah.
So she's done a few late night shows when she has a new book coming out, and does talks around the country. But she's not very often stopped on the streets. And yeah, that's who opens the door. You recognize her.
Miss Albertson, my name is Special Agent DeJordy. I'm with the FBI. We're looking into the disappearance of your wife.
Oh yeah, come in. She steps aside and opens the door and gestures for you three to come in. The inside of the house is very cozy. You see pictures of the two of them everywhere. They're very happy and smiling in all the pictures. A cat hisses at one of you and then runs away into the kitchen. I'm sorry. Forgive the cat. She doesn't do well with strangers.
That's all right. Do you mind if we ask you a few questions about the night that Miss Shaw disappeared?
No, come in. Of course. Do you want any a coffee or tea?
I'm good, thank you for offering.
All right. Well, she leads you into their living room. Plush sofas, a nice coffee table in the center, and she sits down. Well, I didn't even call the police until the day after, because it was not at all uncommon when Hypatia was working on a project for her to not come home. I'm the same way. I have a workshop upstairs on the 3rd floor. She has her home workshop in the basement because, well, the basement walls are a little bit thicker and the neighbors don't complain as much. But we would both be up till all hours of the morning researching and doing work. And so when she was working on a project, like I said, it wasn't unusual for her to come home at 4 a.m. or just not come home at all. So when I woke up the day after she went missing and didn't find her, I didn't think too much of it. She had been keeping late hours. I called her, but her phone went right to voicemail, which, again, when she's working like that, she forgets to charge it, so it wasn't that odd either. But I know that sometimes she forgets to eat, so I packed up some breakfast and brought it over to the campus, and her car was there, but I went in and I couldn't find her. She wasn't in her office, and I started looking around, and that's when I started to panic, and I went to the police, and yes, that's the rest of it.
When was the last time you'd spoken to her before she vanished?
That morning, we had breakfast together, and she said she would probably be late because she was going to be working with, what was his first name? What's his first name? Karsten. Yeah. Because she would be working with Karsten. I didn't think anything of it. They'd been working together for months now. Yes, that was the last time I saw her.
Okay. Did she talk about her work at all?
We had a rule. She's not much of a historian. I'm not much of a musician. So we had a rule that when we're together, we don't talk about work. So, no, she didn't. I mean, I've dragged her to my fair share of lectures on history, and she's taking me to concerts that I find insufferable, but we try not to talk shop at home.
Okay.
You could look around her office, though, if that helps.
Well, would you mind?
No, it's not locked. It's right downstairs. Oh, she leads you to a door and opens it and flicks a light switch, and lights come on to a set of carpeted stairs leading down.
All right. I guess we'll head on down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys go down. This office is much bigger than her office at the school, and it's just filled with musical instruments, all kinds. You know, there's guitars and drums and cellos and an upright bass and flutes of all kinds and things you don't recognize at all. There's microphones and recording equipment. She has a few computers again on a desk on the wall. And her wife comes with you. She sometimes would write entire symphonies for herself and play all the parts and record it and splice it together. And in the middle of the room, though, you guys see, it looks like some things have been pushed away, is another speaker dome.
Oh.
It's bigger than the one in her office, but seems to be smaller than the one in Radovan's office.
Did you ever see her? Good.
Anything about this? Do you know anything she was working on?
I came down once and saw her putting it together. I don't know what it was for. I just know it was for whatever she was working on now. She oftentimes liked to experiment with different sounds. That was one of her drives about how sounds affect people, and she would try all sorts of different musical and acoustical experiments.
Sure.
Alex, is the speaker dome hooked up to anything? Some kind of a source?
There's a wire running to one of the computers on the desk.
All right. Is it on? Can I see what she was working on?
The computer's on, but it is locked. It's a password lock.
All right. Do you, by any chance, know her password?
No, I don't. The doorbell rings upstairs. She says, "Oh, excuse me, I'll be right back." And she goes upstairs.
I go stand by the base of the stairs and I motion toward the computer while looking at Malcolm.
Okay, I'll try to hack the Gibson.
Well, before you do that, you have a thought.
Okay.
No, you're fine. So you sit down and you're about to start typing in passwords. You have a thought and you open the desk drawer and you look through it real quick and you find a scrap of paper that says password.
Oh, that's okay.
She is not secure, as we learned before.
So you type that in, and the computer comes up. So there's a whole bunch of things on her computer. There's folders on her desktop. One of them says diary. One of them says research.
Research. All right. Clicking it.
All right. There is a whole bunch of videos in here. They're just dated. There's no description. It's just they're just numbered, like 1 through like 350.
Do I have like a can I like save it somehow?
Make a well. Do you want to have like a drive with you?
Yeah,
Is
I have a drive.
Make a luck
I've
check.
got a bunch of a bunch of SD cards.
Oh,
on my
that's right.
camera.
Yeah, that's true. You do have a bunch of SD cards. So make a luck check to see if you have enough storage space then. So just
Okay.
50-50, high or low.
I'll go high. Nope.
No. So you can get some. You do have SD cards with you, but you don't
Sure.
have enough to get all of them.
Can I roll and see if I have a card?
Sure. Yeah, make a luck check.
I'm going low. Son. Nope. That was an 89. That's not low at
Yeah,
all.
you didn't think to bring your portable hard drive with you.
Can I just like fucking like just copy the stuff and email it?
Yeah, you could try. That's going to be a computer science check.
All right.
Because like I said, there's a lot. There's like 350 videos.
That's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
Let's see how long it takes. I got.
I'll tell you, with your computer science, it would take hours
Damn.
to email these all to yourself.
I mean, you could always leave it running. She doesn't know we turned the computer on, so
Yeah.
Set it up and turn the monitor off.
Yeah. I got a 48 out of 60.
Okay. So are you taking the diary folder and the experiments for the research folder, or just the research folder?
Yeah, I'll do everything.
Okay.
Why not? Be thorough.
What'd you get?
48.
48. Okay, so you start. It's 2017. You don't email them to yourself. You start uploading them to your cloud file.
Yeah.
And then you set it up so that it will close once the window will close once it's done.
Okay.
But yeah, and then you stand up and turn the monitor off just as you hear her wife coming back down the stairs.
Okay.
And she comes like that. I'm sorry. It was just a salesman trying to sell. I'm sorry. It's just been these last few weeks have been very hard. Do you think she's alive?
Well, Miss Albertson, I wouldn't like to venture a guess at this point. We really don't have enough information to say, but I'm hopeful.
Okay. You're with your humans, Ryan. She lights up a little bit. There's an FBI agent telling her that maybe her wife's alive, and she's going to hold on to that. Thank you. Well, if there's anything, is there anything else I can do for you?
You didn't talk about work with your wife, but did you ever talk about her colleagues? What was her relationship with Dr. Radovan like?
Oh, they were fine. I mean, every once in a while she would bring up some funny thing that he said. Mostly they were just focusing on work together.
All right. Well,
I mean, as far as I know, they got along.
I think that's all we need from you, ma'am, unless either of you has anything you'd like to ask.
Nothing to add here.
Nope.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming. She leads you back upstairs and escorts you out. All right, so you're heading back to campus.
Hmm. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else. We could start looking into the other disappearances. The security guard and the janitor.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be a connection there. But we don't really have timelines for those other two.
I mean, you can go find a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For what purpose, you mean?
For the files that Malcolm is.
Oh, yeah.
Uploading.
Well, you said that's going to take hours.
Well, you could start looking at some of them as they come in.
All right. In that case, yeah, that's probably the best idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So.
So you can head back to campus and find a computer there easily enough. So the diary files are uploading first, just because it's alphabetical. And the first entry is about when Delta Green first contacted her 3 years ago. She keeps a video diary. She's basically recording it from the webcam on her computer. And she explains how these agents contacted her because they needed help translating this medieval musical text that they had found. They didn't tell her what it was for, but she translated and helped them and kept some notes, and it was really fascinating stuff. Is basically what she says in the first one. And then she has one a few days later and says that she's been researching more. And apparently the text has to do with a being called Owatha Mauda that is supposed to be some sort of musical creature. She's not really sure about it. And you start watching some of these videos and she's basically indoctrinating herself. She starts talking about how Owatha Mauda is the singer in the song. And eventually she starts talking about dreams that she's been having. And how she's learned that all of reality is a song. And if she can play the right harmony, she can affect it.
Oh, shit.
That's about where her diary stops. Actually, no, there's one more. It comes in. The last diary entry. She's sitting in front of her camera. And she says, I just came back from the doctor, and they say that it is stage 3 breast cancer. I haven't told Phoebe yet, because I'm hoping that if the work that Karsten and I, if it's for anything, it's for this. So hopefully Phoebe will never have to know. And then she reaches over and turns off the computer, the light, the camera. Yep.
Can you tell from the metadata when this was recorded?
You can. That was recorded 3 days before she disappeared.
Right.
So the other videos are going to take a while because there's like 350 of those research videos. But it is getting to be evening if you want to try the office again.
Yeah, we could swing by.
Okay,
Check
so
it
are
out.
you're heading back to the math building to check out Radovan's office?
Yeah, see if he's still there or if he's cleared out.
He seems to have. Well, you know what? Yeah, he left, or he is not there currently, at least.
What's that?
He is not there currently.
Okay. Guess we can scope it out.
His office door is locked, though, so someone's going to have to make a criminology roll to pick that lock. Oh, you said you have criminology of 50?
I do. And these are
Yeah, you don't have to roll.
skeleton
Yeah, you
keys?
just it's not a super secure lock.
Yeah.
So you easily pick it. It's same office as before. So what do you want to look at?
Guess we can rifle his desk.
Yeah.
I'm
Check
going to
those
check those bins.
Okay.
Mhm.
Malcolm.
I don't know. Does he have a computer?
He does. You could
Oh.
look at that. You could also try if you want to rearrange the boards.
Okay, I'll do that.
If you want to.
Okay.
So, who wants to go first?
I'll search his desk.
Okay. So Kai sits down, starts searching his desk. It seems that he has been keeping notes, but his are on paper. So you pull out some sheets of paper. He writes about when Shaw approached him, and he's interested in the project, and then it goes into a little more detail about this is so much more than I thought possible. To affect matter would be through math would be amazing and a practical application. And he recently has a note about how excited he was that they managed to create a metallic disc. And then he also says, this wouldn't have been possible even 15 years ago. "Quote unquote," crowdsourcing has certainly helped speed things up.
Does he have any dates that correspond to her disappearance?
No, not that correspond to her disappearance. The one about creating the disc seems to be about 2 months ago. That's the last one. So Ryan, you go over to the boxes. They have been closed up, but they're just plastic tubs. So you open them up. There's about 8 of them, and you start pulling them down and opening them up, and they're all full of speakers and wires and bars. But you find one of them has instructions on how to assemble the whole thing.
All right.
So you can attempt that if you want.
What would I roll for that?
I would take computer science. I would also take if you had like electronics. Maybe an applicable science skill. Whatever it is, you'll have plus 20 because you have the instructions.
All right. I'll try computer science because I've got that at 20. And an additional 20 will bring me up to 40. So it's not a bad chance. 21 out of 40.
Okay. It's going to take you a little bit. It's a lot of stuff, but you start putting it together. And Malcolm, you were looking at the boards before, so you kind of get so you know which one's first. So you watch as Kai is reading through papers on his desk, and Angelina is sifting through these boxes and pulling things out, and you start wheeling these boards around the room, and you get them in order.
Oh wow!
Make what's your mathematics at?
40.
Make a mathematics roll with plus 10.
Oh. I got a 14.
Okay. Make a POW times 5 roll.
POW times 5. Okay. Here we go. I critically succeeded. I got an 11.
Okay.
Oh, good.
All right. So, Malcolm, you look at you get the boards in order, and your eyes start going over them, and you see the way the equation flows. And it's super complex. You realize it's taking into account individual molecules and the atoms inside them, and the position of those molecules in a space, and you realize it's a metal disc.
Yeah.
And then you get really lightheaded, and your whole head is just full of this equation. It's all you could think about for a second.
Oh, good.
And you stumble and fall.
Whoa,
and
dude.
Kai and Angelina, you're distracted because there's suddenly, boom! There's a flash of light, and it sounds like thunder but smaller. And Malcolm falls back onto his ass. So Meyer, mark off 1 willpower.
Oh, okay.
And
I'll help him up. Whoa, dude.
And 2 sand points.
Oh no. Okay.
So do you guys have the lights on in here?
I mean, I what time is it at night?
It's like 6-ish by now.
Wait, how many sand? 2?
2 sand.
Okay.
I'm gonna say if there's like a dim setting, maybe you've got them on dim. Because I am assembling something.
Yeah. So the lights are on. So you look around, and right where you were standing, Meyer, before you stumbled back, is a metallic disc that looks identical to the one that he showed you before.
I'm gonna pick it up.
It's a little warm.
Yeah.
But it's a metallic disc. It wasn't there before.
Oh. Oh gosh.
What the hell is that?
It's a metal disc.
Disc. What is that about?
I think I made it.
You made it?
It's the equation. I figured out the equation. I rearranged it in correct order, and I created it, I think. And this equation's for a metal disc.
It's for a metal disc of that size.
Of this exact size. I think I made it. My head's fuzzy, but I'm pretty sure I made this.
So where does the music come in? Maybe they need the music to summon more complex forms.
You guys can make intelligence checks if you'd like, in times 5.
Okay.
So I'll try. Oh Christ!
All right, I've succeeded.
I got a.
critical 33 out of 55.
Ooh, I only
I
got a
did not.
6.
I did not crit, but I got a 57 out of 70.
Oh wow, you all succeeded. Okay.
Yeah.
So you realize, or you start to piece together from what what Radovan was telling you before. So the equation expressed the metal disc in math, and when Malcolm was able to put the whole thing together and hold it in his head, he created a disc. But if you couldn't hold it all in your head, especially with something super, super complex, you would need another way to express it. So maybe whatever is the dome is designed to, create or affect things within it. You convert the equation to music and then play it.
All right.
You could all make sand checks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again.
No.
Nope. 73 out of 69.
What was my sand now? I probably failed too. Yeah, I failed.
Okay.
79.
So you each take 2, just 2.
All right. That's my break point.
Oh, okay. So I believe, because you didn't lose it all at once, so I believe that's an indefinite. Because every breakpoint is just an indefinite.
Yep.
All right.
You can try to.
You could project the sand loss if you want.
Yeah, you can try to not take that sanity.
Yeah.
What are my options for that again?
Well, you could either try to project the sand loss onto a bond and not lose the sand, or repress the insanity for now.
I think you'd have to do projection, otherwise the repression would be for temporary sanity.
Well, you can repress a temporary or like an episode of an indefinite disorder.
Yeah.
So you might want to project.
All right. Yeah, I'll project it onto my dad.
Okay. So do you have at least 1 willpower?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So roll 1d4.
I don't have a D4 with me.
All right. I got it.
You know what? Let me get one out because the last time you rolled. Hang on. Stupid thing. 1.
1. Okay. So you lose 1 willpower and you reduce the sand loss by 1. And you also reduce your bond with your father by 1.
All right.
So you only lose 1 sand.
In that case, I do not hit my break point.
Okay. So you guys realize that they've basically scienced themselves into doing magic.
Magic.
You know,
I really wish I had a shotgun right now.
This makes me like the world's shittiest wizard.
Yes, it does.
Because all I can do is make a little tiny metal disc.
You couldn't do it again without the equation in front of you. Like it's too complex to memorize.
Well, that's good then. Listen.
And you have a feeling that might be why it was out of order. So that way he didn't just make a disc every time he looked at his boards. Like even though the professor's a genius, like this is too much for even him to like keep in his head.
I gotcha.
All right. So my theory is that we should. Not really my theory. I think that we should probably go shift into damage control mode, file a report with Thompson, And then we've got to clean up these loose ends, destroy the professor's work.
Oh, Kai. Does someone want to look on the professor's computer too?
Yeah, Malcolm should probably take a look. I can actually help. I have 21% computer science.
All right. So if you want to help, well, Malcolm's at 60.
Yep. That's
Yes.
60.
You don't have to roll to get on his computer, especially with Kai helping. If you go through his files, most of the stuff it's like Shaw's work computer, lots of class stuff and lots of math stuff that you don't understand. But there is a file that you find labeled music.
Okay, well, I'll click on that then.
So you open the file.
And I'll regret this.
There are different files inside of it. One of them is labeled disk. One of them is labeled pencil. One of them is labeled apple. And one of them is labeled Hypatia.
I'm gonna click on disk.
Okay. The computer starts playing this really weird, discordant music. It only lasts for it's like 10 seconds. Nothing happens.
Okay.
It feels like some of it's really low, like there's a lot of bass to it and a lot of high pitched sounds. You get the feeling that if it was going to do anything, it has to be hooked up to the speaker system.
Oh.
Like you're just playing it out of the computer speakers and nothing happens.
It needs this to channel itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are we gonna experiment and make sure this is what it does, or?
Fuck no, we're not.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no.
You get a ding on your phone, Malcolm, that the files have finished uploading to your cloud.
Oh well, all my files are the files are uploaded now.
Good. You have her password, remote access her computer, and wipe the hard drive.
Okay.
That's going to take a computer science roll.
Okay. Yeah, I got a 47.
Okay, yeah. It takes you a few minutes, but you basically use Radovan's computer and just wipe Hypatia's home computer.
Okay.
Factory reset it so there's nothing left. And then I'm assuming do the same to his computer.
I mean, do we need? I'm not sure how we operate. Do you want me to also save this information and then before we?
I'd say definitely make a backup.
Okay.
I'm going to call Thompson and file a report. See what she wants us to do.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll back it up. I'll try to do the cloud too.
Okay. Yeah. So you set up the same thing. This one's a lot quicker. It only takes a few minutes.
Okay.
And then so once it's backed up, you just wipe it all.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're at his computer, so it's a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to roll for that. So you do it. And while you're doing that, Angelina, you call Thompson. What's the situation?
Well, we seem to have stumbled upon somebody who backed into summoning of physical objects with some kind of auditory mathematical equation.
Math, music, sorcery.
Yeah, basically.
Have you found any bodies?
We have not. Although it seems as though they were trying to summon one.
They were trying to summon a body.
The professor Shaw was diagnosed with breast cancer. I think she was trying to create a healthy version of herself. And from the description that one of the eyewitnesses gave us, she didn't quite get it right.
Right. Have you found this botched attempt?
We have not.
Well, clean out their research, arrest this other professor, and then find that aborted attempt and put it down. Kai, you suddenly remember something as Angelina's on the phone.
Yeah, I'm getting
So
video.
you're going around the room getting video of this equipment and everything.
Yeah.
You go back to the desk, and you move around. Well, Malcolm's there, so you move around him, and the camera glides over one of the notes that you were reading before, and you snap in and focus on one of the notes that he wrote. That without crowdsourcing, this wouldn't have been possible.
Crowdsourcing.
And suddenly you go, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
They uploaded their research to the internet.
Oh, good. So yeah, I say that out loud. Crowdsourcing? What the fuck?
What?
Crowdsourcing. I show Malcolm the paper, the note.
Yeah. So you could go through his computer before you wipe it, Malcolm.
Okay.
And yeah, there's emails from people from the forums where he posted their research about how revolutionary this is. And did you try this? Maybe try wiring the speakers this way. They were disseminating their research. Their texts on how to do magic through this ancient deity.
Oh. Can I figure out who was working on?
No.
Oh, god damn.
I mean, you could get the addresses of the places where he posted it, but
yeah,
you with your computer science, once it's on the internet, it's out there.
Nope. Yep. Well, that's
Anybody tell me this? I'm on the phone.
Yeah, I'll tap you on the shoulder.
Well, what is it?
Look, you gotta look at this. I show her.
Oh. I start reading. Oh shit, Thompson! It's all over the internet.
What is?
Their research.
Crowdsourcing.
They posted it online. Looks like he was tracking several fora.
The line is silent for long enough that you think maybe it disconnected, and you pull the phone away and look and see that it's still connected. Lock that shit down. I'm gonna scramble a team. And she hangs up.
All right. Yeah, we have to.
Yep. Let's get Redovan.
Okay. So how are you gonna find him?
Home address in the file somewhere.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you get his home address. That's easy enough. Are you sure you're gonna go to his home?
Yeah.
Okay. He lives a little outside Boston, so he's about 45 minutes away. So you hop in the car and you go there. It's a suburb area, so he's got a house, a lawn. So how do you want to approach him? You get there, so it's probably 7:30, 8-ish by now, so it's dark. There are lights on inside. There's a car in the driveway.
Is Dr. Radovan married, or does he live with anyone?
No, he is single.
Okay, so he lives alone.
Yes.
We just got to burst in and grab him.
Yeah. I go to the door and I ring the doorbell.
Okay. You have a flashback, Angelina, to the last time you did this about a month ago. You hope it goes better this time. You hear
this time I unholster my gun. I'm not like taking it out of the holster. I just like undo it.
Yeah. Okay. So you unholster your gun. You're a little twitchy. Your hand's like right there. You hear footsteps on the other side of the door, and the peephole like goes dark as someone looks through it. And a second later, the door, you hear like the deadbolt unlatches and the door opens, but there's a chain holding it, and you see Radovan sticking his head out. Oh, agents, what can I do for you?
Dr. Radovan, may we come in, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not really a good time right now. Perhaps we could talk in my office tomorrow.
It's very important. We need to talk to you tonight.
I don't think that would be good for me right now. Tomorrow in my office would be much better.
I'm going to. Is there a way I can like? Dr. Radovan, either we can talk here, or we can talk down at the station, as it were.
There's no really intimidate. I would take humans or persuade. Whichever is higher.
I'll go with humans. Basically, like either you talk to us or we're going to arrest you.
Yeah.
12 out of 60.
12 out of 60. He sighs. Oh, okay. 1 second. And he closes the door, and you hear the chain unlatch, and he opens it. Come in.
Sorry to catch you in the middle of. What did you say you were doing again?
I didn't. I'm just very, very busy with grading papers. You look around. You don't see any papers. There's a light down the hall on. Looks like a bedroom. So what is it that I can help you with? That's couldn't wait. Did you find Hypatia?
We did not.
Nope.
When you say that, Ryan, with your humans, he looks a little relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Radovan, you're a very intelligent man, obviously, very accomplished. So you must be smart enough to know that you're in out over your head.
It was never supposed to be like this. We were going to change the world with a song. We could change the world with a song.
Can I walk into the bath as they're talking to the bedroom?
Sure. You walk in. There's a suitcase, half packed.
I'm just gonna kind of flank him with Agent DeJordy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. DeJordy,
Just
right?
kind of casually flank him.
I told Hypatia we weren't ready, but she was insistent. The cancer.
Late stage.
Yes, almost certainly fatal. She thought we could cure her. I told her it was a fool's errand, that we were nowhere near trying to do a human, but she insisted.
Well, Dr. Radovan, it seems to me that you have a choice to make. You could run from this, give up your career, your prestige, or you can help us clean up this mess that you've made and keep other people from making the same mess. Because as nice as change sounds, I've seen things that would rock the status quo in some very unpleasant ways.
Make a persuade roll.
Nailed it. 50 on the dot.
Okay. He looks at you. What do you want me to do?
Obviously, you tried to create a healthy version of Hypatia.
What?
Did it?
No, we tried to cure her.
It didn't work, obviously, then.
No, She rushed the formulas, and where there were holes, she filled them in acoustically, but it was all wrong. I don't know. Maybe I focused too much on the tumor, or not enough. I don't know. But she transformed.
So that thing on the campus grounds is Hypatia.
Yes. I kept her locked up, but I had to let her out to feed. I'm sorry. I didn't want anyone to get hurt.
Where is she?
She's in the basement of the mathematics building. No one goes down there. It's dense and loud from pipes and whatnot. So no one goes down there.
All right. I'm gonna call Thompson and have her send somebody to pick up the good doctor and debrief him.
Okay.
Yeah, I say we.
I'm gonna tell her that he's willing to cooperate.
Yeah, tell him he needs to come with us, and then we'll zip tie him if he's willing.
Yeah, he'll let you zip tie him.
Just to make sure.
So where are you taking him?
Well, ostensibly we're not taking him anywhere. Thompson's sending someone to pick him up if she has anyone.
Okay. Are you going to wait with them?
Yeah.
Because otherwise he could just leave. All right. So about an hour later, someone shows up at the door. He knocks on the door. Agent DeJordy.
That's me.
He flashes a badge at you. It's another FBI badge and has a little green triangle in the corner. I've been asked to escort a person of interest.
That would be this gentleman over here. He's cooperative. See what you can get out of him on a debrief.
All right. Also, I have something for you in the trunk of my car.
Yes.
Did Thompson reconsider our requisitions?
She did.
It's in the
So
trunk.
he brought you a shotgun.
Yay.
And Meyer, what gun did he bring you?
I don't know. I'm not good at shooting at all. I'm at 20.
Okay.
Just give me a handgun, I guess. Less damage.
Anything up close is
Well, let's.
20 plus 20. A shotgun is plus 20 at any range, but it drops off in damage.
I'm trying to see what has the. There, stun firearms. There we go. So
Melee weapon.
yeah, okay. They give you. If you're worried about that, they give you a shotgun loaded with non-lethal rounds.
Okay.
So Meyer, so your shotgun, it does 1d6 damage.
All right. Let's see.
So you basically have a beanbag shotgun.
Okay.
So it does 1d6 and stuns.
1d6. Okay.
And shadows, you wanted just a regular shotgun?
Yep.
Yeah, that's just 2d10 damage.
Yeah.
So that's it.
And up to 10
What you
meters.
Yeah, that's 10 meters. 20 meters, it's 1d10.
Uh-huh.
And then beyond 20 meters, it's 1d6.
Yep.
And Ryan, do you still have the damage for your pistol?
Yeah, I do. But I would. Well, hang on.
Maybe they brought you something too?
I kind of would like a shotgun as well.
Slug or buckshot?
Go with buckshot.
So same thing, 2d10 damage. And that's to 10 meters. And then up to 20 meters, it's 1d10. And then beyond 20 meters, it drops to 1d6.
Okay. And is a pump action or breech loader or what?
It's probably automatic. It's from the government.
Yeah. All right. So what's in the magazine?
5.
5.
All of them are 5.
Yeah.
Ammo 5. Range.
Yeah, and it's plus 20 at all ranges.
Well, it's plus, yeah.
Normally, a handgun is plus 20 at point blank range. Shotguns are plus 20 to hit at all ranges.
Yeah.
Oh, joy. All right. So, yeah. In that case, we're headed over to the math building. They're taking him back to wherever to debrief him or maybe, throw him off a bridge or something.
Mm-hmm.
About that one.
Yeah. All right, so you head to the basement of the mathematics building. How do you want to do this? What are you doing?
Before the agent leads Dr. Ravigan off, I look at him like straight in the eye and I say, "Can she be reasoned with?"
I don't know. Sometimes it seems like there's some of her left, and other times it doesn't.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm
not going to make it easy for you.
Yeah. I checked the shotgun and chamber around.
Okay. So you have the key to get into the basement. You unlock the door. It swings open. It's dark. It's it's like the boiler room, so it's loud. You hear machinery running to heat the whole building. What do you want to do? Who's going first?
I'll take point.
Okay.
I'll go
So Angelina leads the way. It's narrow in here because there's like pipes coming out of the walls and machinery, so it's hard to do. So you can make search rolls.
Nope, I fail.
No, I failed too.
Meyer,
Let's see what I get. What's it? Search again? You said?
search, yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely failed that. 86.
Okay. So it's dark. Let me. That's okay. So Angelina, you're taking points, and you don't see it until the giant hand, like, actually, you're walking, and then suddenly next to you, so there's like a pipe next to you curling.
Okay.
And you glance and you see movement, and you look, and all of a sudden there's a face inches away from you. Make a sand check.
Oh yeah. $98 out of 41.
All right. So this is just one.
All right, that's still my break point.
You can project again if you want.
Yeah, I think
Just
I'll
keep
do
whittling
that.
away those bonds. How much willpower do you have?
It starts at your max.
Yeah, your willpower recovered.
In that case, then I have 9.
Okay, so roll 1d4.
Okay. 4.
4. All right, you lose 4 willpower, and you reduce your sand loss by 4. So
That
you
mean
take
I-
no sand. No, you
Okay.
don't gain sand back.
Oh.
Let me double check if let me see if you lose more. Like if you lose all the willpower. I think you lose all the willpower.
Probably.
Gotcha.
It's
And
not-
and my bond takes the hint too.
and your bond takes a hit of 4. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's not a forgiving game.
No, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Projecting. The amount is always 1d4. Roll the die and reduce your willpower by that much. So, yeah.
Okay. So that's just the cost of absorbing that 1 point.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I kind of stumble back and fire at the face with my shotgun.
Okay, so you're just going to shoot them? Yeah, it hasn't attacked you.
Fine. Then I'll wait and see what it does.
So anyway, the face you see, the reason you lose the sand, you have flashlights is your main source of light right now, and so the beam goes over it, and you just see this pale gray flesh that seems to have boils or like tumors like roiled beneath the surface, so there's just bumps everywhere. And like one of the eyes is just covered by this tumescence, and the right arm is just humongous and like dragging on the floor, and it's just covered in these tumors. It looks like it's just uncontrolled growth. The shirt has been torn open, is in tatters, And Hypatia looks at you. Ooh.
My name is Special Agent Lisa DeJordi. I'm with the FBI. Dr. Radovan told us where to find you.
The two of you can see her now, so you can make sand rolls too.
Yay.
I don't want you guys to feel left out.
I failed.
I failed.
Both failed. Oof. That's 3 for each of you.
Oh.
As you see the same horrific thing. What? Want?
We want to help.
Yeah, we do. We want to help.
Her not mutated arm comes and like points at her chest. Fix.
Yeah. We know some people who may be able to help.
Okay. Roll persuade.
I love how there's no deceit skill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess it's kind of persuade. I got a 26 out of 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people in the organization, you know?
What?
We're with the organization.
You did some work for us. Work that led you down this research path.
Work. Music. Oathamahoda. And she like hangs her head as she says the name and then looks back up at you. Like respectfully.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You help.
We will do what we can. We'll bring you to some people that should be able to help.
This is... Before we bring you anywhere, you need to tell us what happened to the security guard and the janitor and the student.
She stares at you. Hungry.
Okay.
Hungry.
How often do you get hungry?
Hungry now.
I see.
He let me out. Or to eat.
That is not an option.
But hungry.
if you want us to help you, then you'll have to deal with it.
Make a persuade roll, Ryan.
Nope.
What'd you get?
71 out of 50.
Okay. The face turns. No. Hungry. Need eat. And the huge monstrous hand reaches out for you. So combat time.
Oh.
Yep. We're gonna have to fix her.
So what's everybody's dex?
Will help. I got a 12.
I have a 10.
My dex is 10.
10. All right, it's at 11. So we got Shadows, Hypatia, and then Ryan and Meyer. All right, so
Meyer.
Shadows.
All right.
Meyer's like, fuck, I got a beanbag shotgun.
It does damage.
It's alright. I'm used to dying.
Well, you're also not right up front, Meyer. It's a narrow passage, and right now its giant hand is reaching up to grab Angelina.
All right. I bring up my gun and I fire.
Okay, roll it. You get plus 20.
Plus 20.
It's not dodging.
Nope. 85 out of 40.
Okay. Boom! In this narrow space, you all go deaf from the shotgun blast. But you're not used to shooting, Kai, especially not in tight spaces like this.
Nope.
And your hand is sweatier than you thought it was going to be. So as you go to pull the trigger, you kind of slip, and it goes up. You didn't crit fail though.
They didn't have a boiler room tunnel course on the training.
that was not. It was just a paper target. They didn't train you for this.
Nope.
So it's going to make an unarmed combat roll on you, Ryan.
Oh, good.
You can dodge if you like.
Yes. God damn you dice. 67 out of 50.
Well, it critically failed.
Oh.
So it does not grab you, and as point of fact, it manages. It sort of like steps out of where it was hiding, and just like sort of fully exposes itself to you guys. So Ryan and Meyer, you both have very clean shots on it.
All right. For me, I got a plus 20 to hit.
Yes, I will say, however, Ryan, because you failed, you dodged out of the way, away from Shadows and Meyer. So
Okay.
now this creature is between you guys.
Oh, okay.
So you basically went further down the hall, and then it stepped out, and it's filling the space. So you're cut off from them.
All right, and I'll also shoot them then if I miss.
All right, dude. I got that.
No, you'd
Big
have
enough.
to you'd have to really miss.
All right, so
Did I get the plus
in that
20
case-
as well?
Yes, you do. It's the
Okay.
point blank bonus.
I rolled a 93 out of 70.
I succeeded. 16 out of 40.
For some reason, this creature that isn't moving and is standing in a narrow hallway is really hard to hit. So Meyer, roll for damage.
Okay.
Here's like 1d6.
1d6 of stun.
No, it's 1d6 and stun.
I got a 6.
6. Okay.
Nice.
I mean, like Chad said, they didn't have the giant mutant creature with the Trogdor arm
They did not.
forth at the shooting range.
Yeah. So you hit it, and it stumbles and it looks confused because it got hit with the beanbag. So it is stunned. So it is not acting this turn.
Sweet.
So Chados, you're up.
All right, another shot.
Go for it.
I don't think that's a good one.
What'd you get?
100.
Good.
Okay.
This is
I
going to be.
forget if hundreds are always
I think
crit successes or crit failures.
I think it's a critical fail.
Yeah, that's a malfunction on a gun.
Click.
In Call of Cthulhu,
Yeah.
this uses Eclipse Phase. Let me see. Success and failure.
Do you think?
Yep.
it's
No.
a critical
Double
fail.
aughts is a failure.
Yeah. What happened?
Okay. So your gun does not jam, but you miss and manage to hit a steam pipe.
Oh, good.
So the room fills with steam. So you all lose that plus 20 bonus you got because you can't fucking see anything anymore. So basically you have a minus 20 penalty, which cancels out the plus 20 bonus you got.
Sure.
So Ryan and Meyer, you're up. It's still not acting this turn. It is stunned.
I'm going to try to shoot it again. That I make 9 out of 50.
Roll for it. Roll the damage.
All right. So that is 2d10. Fucking kidding me. 4.
Okay. Meyer?
I will withhold my action because I'm not. If I shoot it, it's gonna be stunned again for the next turn.
If you hit it.
All right, I'll try. All right, here we go. Let's see what I get.
You don't have the plus 20 anymore, though.
No.
Nope.
I don't know. I still got this. I got 17 though. But I still hit it.
Okay. Roll for damage.
All right, here we go. 6 again. Oh, nope, 4.
Still. So you hit it again. You boom, and it like stumbles back as it just gets smacked with this beanbag again. And the arm is taking up most of the space, but the body is still basically human sized, and so it's reeling from these blasts. So Chados, you're up again.
All right. I take one more shot, and then I'm gonna try to back out of the steam and say, "Hey, Angelina, get the fuck out of there."
Yeah, not getting cooked alive is a good idea.
I made it 19 out of 23.
Yeah, nice. Roll for damage.
12 damage.
12. Nice. That leaves it at. All right. You blast it, and you see. You don't see anything. You hear it wail as something like opens up and tears. You hear wet and squelching. It's still kind of stunned though. So Ryan and Meyer, you're up.
Oh well, I'll keep trying to shoot it then. The only thing to do, besides running away.
Yeah.
No, I definitely failed that time. 96.
Yeah. No, you miss.
All right.
Angelina.
All right. I'm going to try to shoot it again. 8 out of 50.
8. Roll for damage.
8.
8. Okay. You hear it wail as your buckshot connects, and you hear a boom boom as it slumps to as something falls down, and one of you manages to paw through and find the valve for the pipe that burst and shut it down, and the steam stops, and as it clears, you see the body of what was Hypatia Shaw lying on the floor, bleeding out. Its massive arm basically this huge shotgun wound in it. So the arm's just kind of like dangling, and she's lying there dead. So you all get back. Wow.
Shouting,
3 sand.
but no one can hear.
I rolled a d6 4 times. I got 1, 1, 1, 4. So I'm going to split it.
Yes.
You get 3 sand back for killing a thing. Yeah, you're all shouting. Can't hear a fucking thing over the ringing. Pretty soon, campus police show up because gunshots. And Detective Smith is there. Your hearing starts to come back, and Agent Lisa DiGiordi quickly takes over the crime scene and cordons it off and calls in her own people to get rid of the body. And they start spinning their story about the animal that got in there. It's probably a bear.
Bear.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm thinking a bear.
Yeah.
Bear.
And that's what happened. The bear killed those 4 people.
Yep.
It's one of those bears. And so you guys are taken back to the federal building, and you are brought into the same conference room as before. And Agent Thompson walks in. It's like 1 a.m. by now. She sits down. Well, you all did good work.
Thanks.
Fortunately, the dissemination of occult materials on the internet is one of the things that we here at the organization fear the most. Since you're the only ones with any experience in this matter, it is time to brief you on Black Mozart. Because you are now Task Force Orchestra. And that's where we will leave off.
Ooh.
You're now an official working group.
Good. It's just what we always wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you got exposed to this horrible shit and survived. You are now our experts in it.
Nice.
Sure, if that's how you want to put it.
Okay, so anything you guys failed, any rolls you guys failed, you should have checked off the boxes. Yep. So you can add 1 to all those skills. Yeah, that's it. You just add 1.
Let's see. I failed the fuck out of search.
Yeah. I know you all failed at least 1 shoot.
Yep.
Yeah, I failed at firearms, human. I failed on math.
Yep. So you add 1
Search.
to each any of those.
All right.
Anything you failed gets +1. It is a slow progression system in Delta Green. All right. I'm calling this one Black Mozart 1 for now. We'll see what happens.
Cool.
So I have this short little campaign planned, which, if you guys are all right, so the next Patreon game will be the next part.
Sounds good to me.
Dealing with the fallout
Yeah.
of, publishing your work on the internet.
Yeah.
And no one bad is going to pick that up.
Of course not.
No.
No.
Never. Nothing never bad happens ever.
Nope,
Only
never,
good things.
ever.
Never in the history.
Meyer survived this time.
Nice job,
Yep.
Meyer.
Thanks,
First.
guys.
You did it.
I just didn't have to get killed by a terrible snake lady.
She wasn't a snake lady. She was a psychic vampire.
I don't remember. I died.
You did die. That's true. She did have claws, and she did literally eviscerate you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope our viewer liked that, unless that's like one of us.
It's not me,
We
man.
have 1 viewer.
It was not me.
Oh, okay. So I hope you all enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. Anyone have any last thoughts before we stop the broadcast? Okay.
Not so much.
All right. I will say, Chados, thanks again for playing. And if anyone else wants to join these games, you can just pledge on our Patreon, and we'd be happy to add you.
Yeah.
Even if you want to do have just a cameo, like you appear in one game, it's
Sure.
1 month, $15 pledge, and you can join in.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, I mean, if we want to die horribly, I'm sure we can make that happen. We can do that for you.
Still saving up with my date with Will.
Yeah.
It's look, 1,000 gets you the date with Will. If you want him to pretend to enjoy it, though, it's 1,500.
Yeah.
He's going to be very angry for just the 1,000, especially because we haven't told him about it yet. All right, so you can visit us at patreon.com/Rag-NERD-rok, RAGNERDROK, or visit us at Rag-NERD-rok.com and Twitter and Facebook /Rag-NERD-rok. All right, so we will see you next time. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Good night.